Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Love and Meaning Podcast. I'm your host, Christelle Robinson-Tiedemann. I am a life coach and human design reader, an enthusiast, an all-around obsessor, junkie, lover of all things personal development, spirituality, and inner work. And this podcast is all about my own personal experience with inner work, the lessons that I've learned, a lot of them the hard way. A lot of this is from mistakes that I've made throughout my life and which have turned into being extremely beneficial lessons. And my entire experience with personal development has been a really beautiful journey that I realize other people could benefit from when I share. So today is an interesting episode because we're going back to the basics. If you've been listening to the podcast for a while, lately I've been talking about a lot of expansion in my life, expansion in my personal development, and expansion in my spirituality. And I actually feel like I am going through another spiritual awakening at this time. And it's been a very emotional ride for the past couple of weeks. On this emotional ride, it came to me over this past week that in all of this development and getting to greater and greater depths, higher and higher layers of my relationship with Source, the universe, and with myself, I kind of forgot about the basics somewhere along the way. And last week, when I was in a very emotional space, and one of my great focuses right now, one of the major layers, I think, in inner work, in personal development, is when you reach the point of realizing that your connection to your emotions is probably the most powerful connection that you have in life in terms of manifesting what you want out of life and becoming the greatest version of yourself. Because the thing that holds us back from who we are the most is our fear of feeling. And I'm working on not necessarily even losing my fear of feeling, but yes, somewhat losing my fear of feeling, or just becoming simply more brave, courageous, and showing myself, proving to myself that no matter what it is that I'm going to feel, I can handle it. And so on this emotional expansion, last week was a rocky road. There were a lot of tears. There were a lot of feelings. There were just a lot of things that I was holding and carrying myself through. And in that very beautiful, very sensitive process, I had this realization. And luckily, after a couple of conversations with some trusted people in my life, spiritual guides, my mentors, my husband is actually a great confidant, and he is such a wonderful coach himself, unofficially. And one of my good friends who's actually who was on the podcast recently. This is Lauren Staggers of Intuitive One. I've had some really powerful people in my life to help guide me through this. And in particular, after a conversation with my husband, he said something to me where he said, I don't know if these were his exact words, but he said, did you move your body? Did you pause? Did you breathe? And I was like, oh my God, so simple. So simple. Sometimes you forget about the most simple things when you're like, air quotes, at really high heights in your spiritual journey and process. And basics never stop being absolutely important. And so this episode is all about the spiritual basics. I'm going to share with you what I believe are my spiritual basics. So this episode will probably be short and sweet, but I know that those who are listening to this is exactly what you needed to hear, because this is exactly what I needed to hear last week. And so my favorite spiritual basics that I want to talk about are kind of like concepts, not necessarily like meditate, do that, but though meditation is a great thing. So these are not in any particular order, but these are the things that bring me down to earth, keep me grounded, keep me centered, keep me connected. Because I think one of the things that happens to me when I'm really, I am expanding and it is a little bit scary and I feel the stretch in myself, I can very easily forget that I am not ever doing this alone. Human beings are source beings having a physical experience. You are a soul inside of a body. And so remembering my connection to source is one of the most grounding tools for me. So this is my number one spiritual basic is talk to God, talk to source daily. Remember that you are not alone. Remember that I'm not alone in whatever that works for me. For me, it's just literally just remembering I am not alone. And just in that remembrance, I can tap into that part of myself where I feel the cord connected to source. And remember that you're never creating alone. When I'm in the midst of trying to create something really, really big and exciting and expansive for me, I can very easily think that it's just me working by myself, toiling away by myself, little old me, and I can feel like it's so big and I'm so small. And then it becomes really, really difficult. But the thing is that I'm never creating alone. Everything I am creating through and with source. And everybody in my life, all the people that are helping out, all of the ideas that come to you through others, through books, through videos, through mentors, whatever it is, all of it is source connected. So source is providing every single thing that connects me to this creation. So I'm not even a little bit alone. So my number one spiritual basic is talk to God daily, source, universe, whatever word works for you. Communicate with that thing outside of yourself that you know that it is a higher power. That is all of this, the thing that connects to the tides coming in and the sun rising and setting every day. This is what I mean. Connect with Mother God, okay? Daily. And for me, I usually do that through meditation, through journaling. And meditation, I want to just make a caveat, isn't quite enough. So I can meditate and still not necessarily fully be in my remembrance that I'm not alone. So meditation is my first step in the day, but then I want to actually communicate, like have a back and forth dialogue with source. And so I like to do that through journaling and through contemplation. And one of the things that I have forgotten, I used to do this in the beginning of my spiritual journey, and I haven't done it in a long time, is write little notes to myself all around my home. Like I used to write them on little sticky notes or on cue cards, different colored cue cards and like cute handwriting and stuff. And so I've started again. And so one of the things that I've written down is I'm not creating alone. Everything I create is with and through source. And just seeing that, I'm like, it feels like a spiritual hug. So if you need to put little reminders around, put little reminders around to help you remember you are never, ever doing this alone. And the simplest of ways for me to connect with source and remember I'm not alone is to ask for what it is that I want. So whatever it is that my day is going to be devoted to that day, that I'm going to be creating that day. So right now I'm working on an offer, a really awesome offer that I'll be sharing with you guys soon enough. In working with it, before I start my brainstorming, my contemplations, I sit and I say to source, this is what I'm creating. Please help me to create this in the most beautiful, effective, and impactful way I can for everyone involved. I trust in you. Show me the connections, show me the direction, show me the people to interact with. You are the greatest business partner. Thank you so much. Just something simple like that. Okay, so talk to God daily, number one. Number two is kind of connected to it because I said journaling already, but it's going inside of my body. So that was the source part, right? So that was the soul part. Then there's the body part. Going inside of my body and checking in with what's going on underneath the surface. This is one of my favorite journal prompts that I was told by a mentor years ago, actually. What's going on underneath the surface? This is one of my favorite things to journal. So I'll just literally take the page and I'll write what's going on underneath the surface. And then I just start writing, stream of consciousness writing. And it could be like, okay, I feel some tension in my chest, tension in my neck, I feel swirling in my tummy. You just start writing with whatever you feel, and it always leads to somewhere really insightful. Oftentimes, I'm a projector in human design. Oftentimes, when I start my day with my journal prompt of what's going on underneath the surface, I can identify very quickly things that I'm holding on to on the inside that are going to lead to bitterness, that are going to lead to resentments. It's very easy for me to kind of hold on to things that turn into resentments. It's part of my not self theme as a projector. And when we're feeling out of alignment, this is how it represents for us. And so this journaling prompt really helps me to identify those and kind of nip it in the bud, because they're not usually big things. It just takes a reframe. It just takes, a minute to sit with myself and feel my emotion, soothe my inner child, and then it's gone. But if I don't and I let them build up, that's the thing that will lead to an argument with my husband. That's the thing that will lead to me, losing an afternoon of creativity because I just feel no energy in my body. That's the thing that will, whatever, you know what I mean? They just build, but they're actually tiny little things. And so asking myself, what's going on underneath the surface and journaling on it, great way to start. Next, exactly what my husband told me. Constantly, all the time, whenever something comes up for you, whenever I'm feeling something, first question to ask myself, pause, get quiet. Have I moved my body? And breathe. So really having a connected relationship with your breath, deep breathing throughout the day. I like to use the, what is it called? Triple Flame app, and it notifies me to pause every 3 hours. I like to do that. So I've made sure my notifications are on, and I'm pausing, and I'm taking those little breaks. Pause, connect to your body, ground, breathe, and then move my body. So one of the things that I've really gotten back into in the past month is my exercise practice. I used to work out literally 7 days a week, and life got a little hectic, and it dwindled and dwindled and dwindled all the way up to my wedding. And then I had a really hard time like getting myself back after the wedding, getting back into the routine. I'm back into the routine now, and it really is making a difference, especially as I feel myself moving through some big emotions right now, as I'm expanding myself in a greater way than I ever have. So move your body, however that looks like for you. For some people, it's walking, it's running, it's exercise, it's playing with the dog, it's playing with your children. Like there's so many different ways, but just move your body, be physical with the physical apparatus that you were given, okay? Another really beautiful spiritual basic that means so much to me. And this is another one that I've written down on cue cards and on sticky notes, and I place it all around my home. Focus on my why for everything. What is my why behind my marriage, the man that I've chosen to spend my life with? What is my why behind the business that I'm trying to create? What is my why behind wanting to expand our family and become a mother? What is my why behind my friendships, so that I know that I'm showing up as the person I want to be in my friendships? What is my why behind the kind of colleague that I want to be and therapist that I want to be with my patients? What is my why behind my relationship with my sibling? What is my why with my parents? What is your why for everything? We're so often focused on the how and the what. And honestly, the how and the what is indicated by your why. Your why is what matters the most, and it will indicate, it will tell you, it will dictate to you your how and your what, if you know what your why is. So take some time to reflect on your whys, and do this often, because they'll change, they'll upgrade. One of my new whys that I have voice noted and journaled on over the past 3 days so much, I realized new why, and it has given me an entirely new, a whole burst of energy in what I'm doing. My latest and newest why is navigating this spiritual awakening without any resistance. This is my greatest why now. And that bleeds into so many things. I have a why that supports abundance. I want abundance in my life because I want to be able to, if I want to go on a retreat, if I want to travel to Sedona, if I want, whatever it is that I want to do that supports my spiritual awakening, I want to be able to do that. That's a huge why. And that's so motivating for me in terms of prosperity and abundance. The way that I am with my friends, my family, my boundaries. This is a huge, the why is dictating how I'm going to be operating in all of these areas of my life. So, what is your why, and focus on your why. And then, lastly, one of the oldest, this is one of the first things that I learned from Abraham Hicks when they used to, I learned law of attraction from Abraham Hicks. And they used to always say, take the path of least resistance. Source is always going to work through you through the path of least resistance. Why am I so tongue-tied? Your inner being takes the path of least resistance. My husband is the one who reminded me of this in our conversation that we had a couple of days ago when he was really supporting me through like big emotions. And he said, are you letting it be easy? Or are you overcomplicating things? What is the easiest thing that you can do right now? What is your easiest access to movement right now, moving forward right now? And I was like, duh, what is the easiest thing right now? Let it be easy. And let it be easy doesn't mean that whatever it is you're doing, that your spiritual process, that your expansion in life isn't challenging. I don't believe that. But what is your easiest access right now? Everything that we want to achieve can be achieved in multiple steps. So let your next step be the easiest one. So that's what I mean when I say let it be easy. So I've now written down let it be easy, and I have it available in all of my spaces because that is the reminder. I can even hear my husband's voice now asking me, are you overcomplicating? How can you let this be easy right now? What is the easiest way to go right now? And it usually knocks out 10 different things that I'm juggling in my brain and gives me exactly the path to go on next. So the path of least resistance. Help yourself to have that be available to you, and it increases our alignment with ourselves. So let it be easy. How can you let it be easy for yourself? All right. That is it for today. Maybe this will be spiritual basics part 1, but these were the things that really helped me over the past little while I am navigating this next level spiritual awakening. And I hope that it can help you too. I love you so much. Come and hang out with me on Friday, and we're going to dive deeper into this on Friday night, a live dive. That is every Friday, 6 p.m. EDT on my YouTube page, which is, you can search it by my name, Christelle Robinson-Tiedemann, or my handle at Coaching with Grace. So come and let's dive deep into these spiritual basics, how they're working for you, how they could possibly work for you, and what are your spiritual basics? What are your staples that carry you through and support you? All right. Until next time. Bye.